One. Hey there, Vernacular Faithful. Redcoat here, and I am at Proto ATL, and this is a convention for game designers and game developers who are trying to prototype stuff and share ideas and get inspired. So, if you would, please introduce yourself.
My name's TJ Bagwell. I'm from South Carolina, and this is my second year at Proto ATL. Uh, I brought way too many games with me, but have been able to kind of keep it to my core four, if you will.
So way too many games. So that says to me that you've made a lot of games over the years. Would that be correct? Would that be correct to say?
By made in the amateur sense.
Okay, okay.
I probably have I've got 8 prototypes in my hotel room, and I've got notebooks with another 20 ideas in them, and I've stopped myself from actually prototyping anymore until I make some more progress. I needed to focus. I needed to come down. So I put 4 in my backpack, and the 4 that are most ready, but also need that
That
last
finishing
level of
touch.
polish.
Yeah.
And so I've actually asked people for the most part this weekend to do the hardest part for me,
Hmm.
which is a blind play test where
Oh.
where I just hand them the rule book and the box of components and pretend like I'm not there, as if they had just pulled the box off the shelf at the store
Mhm.
and opened it up. Because I need to know if my rule book is good enough to teach without me there. Because obviously I'm not going to be in every box.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so last year I was playtesting as frequently as people would let me, and this year I've warned people. I'm like, I need the harder one. I need the one that gives that last level of polish. But I've had some people really help me out,
Yeah.
and so it's been a good weekend.
Yeah, I think I participated in one of those ones. That was for the peanut butter jelly one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's right. I have a game called Peanut Butter Jelly Time,
Yeah.
and anybody near my age is going to recognize the old viral videos from there.
Oh yeah.
But that's a family game, and but I think adults can enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing of it is, it's like that. It's one of those games where the big fun of it is just being able to shout, shout peanut butter jelly time and make and
Hmm.
just have a good time. And that's another thing with just board games in general. One of the things I've found is really cool that filters into the designer community, which is that social aspect. Like
Hmm.
like you can't. Well, I mean, you can play a game alone, but it's just like it's not the same. But I think that's a really big part of it is just bringing people together around a table and just having a good time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
So I've got nerdy, geeky friends at home
Mhm.
that we love nothing more than the diving into a game that's 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, and but we are together. We are socializing. We are uh, really enjoying that.
Mm.
Now, my parents, my mother-in-law, even my wife, she's they don't want that kind of experience.
Yeah, yeah,
They want the more social, the more maybe you've got your cards in your hand and you're chatting
yeah.
between turns and stuff. And so I think there is all kinds of markets for
Oh
that.
yeah.
And I've play tested party games. I've
Mm.
play tested family games. Um, I haven't sat down for any 3 hour games this weekend, but I'd be willing to. I owe people a lot this weekend, and so it might come up.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's one of the challenges at one of at the pro at these kinds of conventions where it's like, well, some games take a lot longer to play than others, and
Hmm.
but you want to be flitting around, playing as much as you can.
Hmm.
And I know that's like one of the things that you'll do that one might do is like they'll run the game and they'll be like, okay, do you have the gist? Okay, tell me what happened, how did it go,
Yes,
that kind of
or
deal.
or it's 12 round game and you just play the first 3 rounds, so and get the gist of it, get what you're going for. Uh, and I think this group of people understand that, like they're very conscious of each other's time, and so
Yeah.
and I got to tell you, uh, this is the friendliest group of people I've ever been around. Like just the way they talk to each other, the way they treat each other. But I think that's necessary
Hmm.
because they're also throwing criticism around all the time. I
Hmm.
mean, that's if you came to this event thinking your game was perfect, well, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
You have to come in with the attitude of I need improvement, my game needs improvement. What can I learn? And so, being willing to accept that criticism, but being in this friendly environment where the criticism is all so constructive,
Hmm.
and criticism has such a negative tone to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But that's really what we came for.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know we're in Atlanta right here in the heart of the South, and we got the hospitality just flowing with each other. And so I'm already looking forward to next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wonder how many games I'm going to have stashed away in the hotel room then.
It'll
It
just be
looks,
like, it's like they'll come up next year and be like, I got 200 games in the back. I have to choose four.
yeah. I'm going to just have to throw my own convention at some point, and where people just come and play test my games.
We'll just call it TJ Max. The maximum TJ.
That's
Yeah.
that sounds good with me. I like the attention.
But yeah, well, so this has been grand. So I wanted to also so you've got a couple of games that you're working on.
Hmm.
All right. So you already said you had to choose four
Yeah,
out of your
narrowed it
huge
down.
list. So all right, so you got to choose one. Choose one. Which one would you say is like you're gonna be like pushing hard promoting that one? What which one would you say?
Can I have two?
No, no, you
Can I?
gotta have one. One.
All right. Well, since we've already mentioned the peanut butter jelly time,
Okay, okay.
um, I love that. That it's great. It's so great for my family and stuff. But my baby is a game called Marvel Mastermind.
Marvel
That's
Mastermind.
right. You play as the bad guy. So
Okay.
they got lots of games where you play as the heroes.
Yeah,
This
yes.
one you're playing as the bad guys,
Yeah.
and it is deck wrecking. So every card in your deck is good, and you want to keep every card. Every card you have can help you beat those bad guys. But the rules of the game and the theme dictates that you have to get rid of some of each of the cards in your hand.
Hmm.
And so you're playing, uh, getting rid of as few cards as possible, keeping uh, curating, if you will,
Yeah.
crafting your deck to match your mastermind
Hmm.
because Killmonger's going to have a different strategy than Kingpin.
Yeah.
And so Kingpin's going to surround himself with henchmen, and Killmonger's going to be all combat all the time.
Yeah.
And so you're crafting that deck in a way that fits your mastermind,
Hmm.
and then once all the rounds end, then you lay those heroes out in front of you, and you take your deck and you do battle against those heroes.
Hmm.
And can you if you moved fast, well, you attracted more attention, and you've got harder heroes you have to face.
Yeah.
But if you move slow, your heroes will be easier, but you used more resources
Mm.
to keep those harder heroes off the back. So that's the balance. Do I put my foot on the gas and now I'm attracting the Hulk and Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel,
Hmm.
or do I back off and I only have to face Jubilee and
Yeah.
and Daredevil and so yeah, so that's it's my baby. It's like um uh, I want to think that it's innovative
Hmm.
because it's this deck wrecking. It's the opposite of deck building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you start small and build your way up. This one, every card is good, and so every hand has tension. I
Yeah.
wanna I wanna keep them all, but I got to get rid of some.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah, it's creating many meaningful decisions, and I think that's one of the biggest things whenever you're looking at how well a game rolls.
mhm.
Is like how many meaningful decisions do you make? How many decisions are like inconsequential? Because I think that's kind of a part of that engagement curve, right?
Yeah, sure. I was able to talk to it's been almost a year ago now. Talk to a publisher about it, and when they first heard about it, he told me he was worried that that as you got rid of cards, you would have fewer and fewer things to do.
Hmm.
Uh, in my game, I think at least,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's not the case. That there's tension in every hand,
yeah,
and when I started getting into uh, designing games, I was reading, I was watching YouTube videos, and they use this word tension. I was like, tension's bad. Tension's right there,
yeah.
behind my shoulder. I don't need that tension. But when you use it, just as you were saying,
Mhm.
it's that I don't want just the easy game.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's Candyland.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's because the way the how would you call it, the philosophical way of putting it would be
no.
it's a cathartic release. So it's like tension release,
Mhm.
and that's because that's even in the literary space, it's like that's the whole point of tragedy. You're building up to something that's going to happen, and then you make good on it, and all of that built up emotion of like what's gonna happen,
Mhm.
how's it gonna happen, oh no, it's gonna be bad, and then right there, and it's just overflowing feeling of just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's
Are you suggesting that we're artists?
you didn't hear that from me.
It was his suggestion. I'm just reading into what you said there.
But yes, yes, actually, I do consider games as a form of art.
That's good.
I do,
That's great.
because I think it's all about engagement. It's
Hmm.
at the end of the day, my definition of art is a it is a means of conveyance, and video games, board games, anything that is game related does convey information.
Hmm.
And the thing about art is, or rather, the actual down to the words definition is stylized expression.
Hmm.
As So it could be a feeling, it could be a concept, it could be an idea, but the point is that you're not just saying ball, you're saying um, bombastic ball, right? So it's a we've stylized the ball with bombast.
Hmm.
It's given feeling.
Hmm.
And so that's, I mean, it's really, really low level art, but
Ah,
that is art.
well, yeah, well, that's good though. I mean, humans have played games since humans existed,
Yeah,
and so what I guess what we're doing then is taking that basic concept of game and shaping it, crafting it to our audience or to ourselves if we're just designing for ourselves.
yeah.
And so no, artist, definitely artist.
Yeah,
That's what we're going with.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no. You heard it here. Well, you didn't hear it here first. There are other people who have said the same thing, but
But you heard it here first.
you heard it here first. Don't tell anyone otherwise. Shh, secret between us.
Right, right.
But yeah, all right. Well, this has been awesome talking with you, TJ. I appreciate it.
Great.
Where can we find information about some of the stuff that you're doing?
No, nowhere.
Nowhere, nowhere.
I'm just not ready for it yet.
Yeah, just not ready. Okay.
I'm, um, I think some of us here, that they may be designing games just for themselves or just for their family,
Hmm.
and I don't say that I don't like that, but until I'm published, uh, even if it's self-published, I don't think that's success yet.
Yeah, yeah,
And so and this is just personal to me. There's dozens of people in that room over there that are just happy to play with their friends, but I haven't reached out like that
yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah.
And so the name of I already got the name of the company. It's going to be War Possum Games.
War pop. That's
War Possum,
awesome.
not opossum. In the South, we don't say the O. It's War Possum Games, and there's a handful of videos on a YouTube channel now. If you looked up War Possum Games, you could see my very boring prototyping videos.
Hmm.
But um, but that's about it. I have a real job and I have to keep it now.
Yeah,
But uh, I don't think that next year, but 2 years from now, we're going to interview again, and I'm going to tell you about all the stuff's coming out,
yeah.
and then I'll be everywhere. You won't be able to avoid this face.
No, yeah. Well, you see, so what you've just done is you've made a promise.
I'm there. I'm ready. I'm
And
ready.
yeah. So if you make good on that promise, everyone who's watching this here, they're gonna be a super fan.
That's
It's
it.
gonna be you're gonna be you won't be able to keep them off of you.
No, good, good. Look, I want this to be archived in such a way that you're my first game designer interview, and then by that time I'm so popular that this is going to be something that lifts both our careers up. That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful day, all y'all people up there, and thank you for coming on, TJ. Really
Hey,
appreciate it.
my pleasure. Bye,
And
y'all.
play the games you want to play, boyos. This is Redcoat signing out.